Hello and welcome everyone to the Wednesday, September 17th edition of the SIG Contributor Experience meeting, Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience. As a reminder, this meeting operates under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. Here at the beginning of the call, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone on the call to introduce yourselves. This is totally optional, and I like to use it as an excuse to explain what the meeting is about. So I will go first. Hello, everyone. I'm Caslin Fields, and I'm one of the co-chairs of the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience, which is the group that this meeting is about. And this meeting will be about all the various projects and sub-projects going on within the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience. The focus of this group is on making sure that contributors within the Kubernetes project have what they need in order to succeed and accomplish things within the Kubernetes project. We do things like GitHub management and communications to make sure that contributors know about things going on in the community that might affect them. Events, we'll talk a little bit about Maintainer Summit and anything that we're doing at KubeCon coming up. Moderation in media, owning Slack and Zoom and all of those good things. So we will do updates on all of those various projects today. And my pronouns are she, her. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves? Totally optional. All right, then we'll move right along into our agenda. Well, actually, first, another housekeeping item. Note taker. Would anyone like to volunteer to be our note taker today? The role of the note taker is to follow along with the discussion that's happening in the call and take notes in the notes document, which I will place in the chat once again here as best you can. So would anyone like to take notes for us today?
I'll go ahead and take notes.
Thank you. I'll put you in as our note taker.
But I am going to leave it up to our other attendees to put your names in.
Yes.
Some of you all have usernames on Zoom, and I'm not going to spend time guessing what your real name is. Please add it to the notes yourself.
Okie dokie. Let's move right along into our agenda. And the first thing on the list is events. So, Mario, you want to talk about what's going on with Maintainer Summit?
Nothing much. It's trickling along.
Sure, nothing much. I don't believe you.
Actually, it's currently it's quite quiet.
It's in the calm before the storm.
We have awards. We have meet and greet. Meet and greet also should be now in the schedule because CNCF folks are back. Let me check.
If it is, we should make sure to bring that up in the communications meeting.
Yeah. Who's our leads for the meet and greet?
TBD. This is something that I still need to figure out.
Okay.
The way that we're doing it is a little different this year, right, Mario?
No, we have two things. So meet and greet is old good meet and greet, and we will actually have extra rooms for this when you go to the notes of the ContribEx meeting from 2 weeks ago. There I put in where the rooms will be. And we also have the contributor hour. The contributor hour will be in the project pavilion. And second day of KubeCon this time is Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have, let me check, is it in the...
So is the project pavilion takeover on the second day, or the meet and greet on the
No,
second day, or both of them on the second day?
takeover is on the first day of KubeCon, right 1 hour before the cube crawl is happening, and meet and greet is on the second day of. Yeah, and I can't find it, so I think it's not yet in the program, but it will be in the official program once my description thing that I wrote is accepted by CNCF staff.
Will appear on the schedule soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me suggest we have enough people, since we don't have the Kubernetes Contributor Summit, we should have enough people that we could actually have a separate lead and backup for each of those events for running them.
Yes, I'm happy to have someone there. So this is the event for meet and greet. I put it into the chat and.
Oh, so it is on the schedule.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And on Monday.
Looking for the. Are you looking for the project pavilion or something on the maintainer summit?
Yeah, for the project pavilion thing.
Project pavilion would be Tuesday, right?
Yes. The problem is that I don't understand SCAD. It's
That's all right. We can find it. So those things are theoretically, at least one of them is on the schedule. We need to recruit some leads. Is there any help you need with that? Do you have ideas about how you want to do it?
I will ping the usual suspects, to be honest, and from people that I know that will be around and have done meet and greet before, because I still have some people who pinged me who would be open to do this. And
both I and Laura Santa Maria will be in Atlanta. So, although, for either of us, I think we'd still rather recruit a new-ish person to be the lead, and we'll be the backup. So that way we're actually training somebody new.
I put in the second appointment into the chat. So this is the contributor hour.
Wonderful.
And also, you may have received an email that KubeCon North America is happening next month. This email was sent by accident.
I was about to say November got here fast.
There, no, we're gonna have more than one. We're gonna have more than one, right?
Yes, 2 KubeCon North America this year.
Yeah.
You heard
it
here.
3 weeks apart. Won't that be fun?
Yeah. Great.
Beside this, all good, to be honest.
Also, those links just go to the schedule, not to the actual events on the schedule. So
I
was wondering what I did wrong.
Yeah. We'll have to.
If
somebody wants to find those.
This one is now the contributor link
that
is
works.
Yeah, that works. I hate SCAD.
Yep.
I simply hate SCAD.
There's a short link there at the bottom of each page that takes you to the thing.
Yeah, if you look under the event description and everything, it's there.
Yeah. So we still need to find the one for the meet and greet, but that sounds like what's going on with events. Shall we move on to our next item while we find that last link?
Oh, that's the same link.
Yeah, if you go to the bottom of that page, I already got that one. Anyway. There you go. There's the other one. Very exciting content for everyone watching on YouTube right now.
People Googling and going on web pages. But yeah, that's it for events.
That's not. Oh yeah, that is right. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Let's move on to mentoring. So I put in a note here about new contributor orientation. New contributor orientation for September happened yesterday. We got 3 people in EMEA and 4 in the Americas edition of the meeting. So attendance continues to be very low. We have talked about things we can do to increase advertising for it. One thing that we want to do more consistently is create a good first issue that directs people to the meeting for that month. We did it last month. I think that attendance was a little bit higher last month, but we haven't gotten consistent about creating that issue, which I think would help considerably, but can't be totally sure. Open to suggestions on advertising. We do already have automated social media posts that go out each month with a link.
Actually, I have proof that if we do advertisement that it works, because can somebody give me sharing rights or just open this link? Open this link. This is probably faster.
There we go.
Yeah. So two questions about ideas. One is, are we actually throwing messages in the Slack channels that tend to have a lot of new contributors on them, like Kubernetes, like new contributors and Kubernetes users?
We used to. That's in the guide for running the meeting, but I think we've kind of fallen off of it.
Yeah. One suggestion I would actually have, since we have a lot of comms volunteers, is that we could actually make this a 2-part thing where one person runs the actual meeting, but a second person is an assigned comms person for the meeting.
Yeah, we're going to have to, because it's not working out the other way.
Yeah, because some of the things, because like I try to remember to put it in LWKD, but I don't always remember, and it would really help to have somebody pinging me, for the LWKD issue before, or pinging some member of the LWKD team and saying, hey, remember to put this in.
Yep.
A second thing actually is, what about doing a GitHub banner on the Playground repository?
I think we looked into that before, but there were some like rules about GitHub banners.
I know we've done that
or just put it in the README. Put it in the README.
Right.
That is in the README. You could just continually have when the next NCO is scheduled for.
So many things to do. Yes, that would be good to do as well. Yeah, we have a messages of the week section of the contributor comms team meeting now, where we start each meeting by trying to remember what things need to go in last week in Kubernetes development for the next week. And we didn't even mention new contributor orientation last week.
No,
yeah,
we didn't.
And that's why we forgot it.
We just didn't even think of it.
It wasn't there.
Yeah.
So
human memories are fallible.
Yeah, well, but what I'm
Yeah,
thinking
big
about
time.
is because we have a lot of volunteers for comms, some of whom are extremely part-time. What about the idea of simply having somebody who's assigned who volunteers for the next NCO? But like, a month ahead, they take that assignment. So you say, hey, this is the person who's doing the October NCO in terms of comms. And they're just in charge of making sure that messaging goes out to remind people of the NCO, et cetera. And that would be a great comms task for somebody who really only has 4 hours to spend on comms this month. And if they're focused on only that, then they're unlikely to forget it.
We can try it.
Yeah, I'm all for it at this point. What is the scheduling cadence for NCO again? Sorry.
Monthly. The third Tuesday of every month.
Got it.
So that's a item for the comms meeting on Friday. We need to request a lead for the next month for comms on new contributor orientation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I put in here is that in the SIG chairs meeting, one of the leads, when we were talking about new contributor orientation and things that we can do to make it more useful to the various SIGs, we talked about the idea of possibly having a SIG chair come in every now and then to talk about their specific SIG and how to get started on it and what kind of help they need. And one of the SIG chairs was like, we don't need help from new people because new people just show up and can't figure out what's going on. And then we invest a bunch of time in trying to get them up to speed and then they disappear. And then our stuff continues to not get done.
Yeah, although I think the answer there might be to look at the onboarding experience for each SIG, the technical onboarding experience, not with the idea that a chair or somebody is going to necessarily do it interactively, but more on having consumable materials.
Yeah.
Because I bet most SIGs don't have them. And if it's self-service, then it's not extra time for the chairs. They don't care how many people show up and disappear if it doesn't take any of their time. So
getting every SIG to do anything is near impossible, as we have proven, but yeah. And now we are in like 2 months to KubeCon. Starts to get
well,
dicey.
I mean, I would love to start on something for this before KubeCon, but the
plus code freeze for the next release cycle is right around KubeCon. It's gonna be interesting.
Having literally spent my entire week so far on KubeCon planning, I'm not convinced that I'll actually be able to do anything else.
Yep. Can relate.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about group mentoring and external mentoring. What you got, Josh?
Yeah. I actually have not followed up to draw the stats for the etcd. I was going to do that before this meeting and I forgot about it. So I'll have to do that later. Because the etcd group mentoring thing is completed. And I just need to pull the stats on how many people advanced. I know we got a new docs reviewer out of it, which adds, 30% to the docs reviewer quotient. So it's a big deal for us. Yeah.
Yay.
But I don't know how the code mentees did follow that up. But that means that we should be looking at finding another SIG that wants to do group mentoring. So obviously I'll put some stuff out there. People can be a little distracted by KubeCon, but not everybody. Lots of folks are European and they're not coming to KubeCon North America. And we should start with another SIG. Yeah, LFX term 3 has started. The LFX system had a bit of a meltdown, so I don't yet have stats on how many of the term 3 projects are Kubernetes. And that's it.
Okie dokie. Thank you. Any questions from anyone about what's going on in mentoring? All righty, we'll move right along then to comms. Would anyone from the comms team like to give any updates?
Yes, I would love to. Last week, for whatever reason during the comms meeting, I needed to go into the YouTube studio and look at things. So I typed in my usual shortcut to get to the Kubernetes channel, yt.case.io, and the page loaded. And I looked. It's the first time I've really looked on a desktop at that page in forever. And remember the community meetings and the Meet Our Contributor meetings? Those playlists were on the homepage for YouTube, and they hadn't been updated in 3 years. So, yeah, I've talked to the admins and just say, hey, just keep an eye on stuff. If it's old, remove it. If it's newer, you add it. But I added the new contributor orientation playlist to the homepage. Do we want anything else on there? Steering, this SIG's playlist? I don't know. How do we feel about that?
I think new contributor orientation is the content for a random person found the Kubernetes YouTube channel that we have right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what else from all the playlists to add. Or
we do
maybe
have
we should even...
We do have Arpit working on that video project of interviewing contributors about their experience. That could also be kind of generic content for the homepage potentially, but it depends on one person actually continuing to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? In theory, it should be fresher stuff, right? Not necessarily a one-time project or something only one person manages, right? Yes, we can, rotate things in and out, but I always like to work under the auspices of set it and forget it when it comes to YouTube kind of thing. And, yeah, it'd be great to have something else on there, but it's not necessary if we don't feel like there's anything worth it.
Yep. So that's one thing. And that's more of a YouTube admin thing really than a comms thing, though it did happen during the comms meeting.
Right. Sorry. Yeah, a lot of the stuff I'm doing right now for comms is moderation, and yeah.
In the last comms meeting, we did talk a little bit about social media. I had a friend who was a social media manager put together a slide deck. We went through most of that slide deck in the meeting to give folks some tips on how to approach social media. We've also implemented a new program with the messages of the week where we're actually putting those into a spreadsheet and asking people to claim them and get them done. Because they don't get done unless we do a working session during that meeting is the reality. So we're trying to work on social media efforts to make those a little more consistent. And I think that's about all I've got for comms right now. Shall we move on to documentation? Anyone want to talk about? Oh, yeah. Comms
the campaign for steering election comms thing. So interviews and so.
I was going to go over that under elections.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Elections is its own sub-project, so it's both. It's one of those crossover things. Cool. So I doubt we have anyone here from contributor documentation. We're not really doing anything actively at the moment with contributor guide and contributor site. Oh no, Sayaka's here, so maybe we are.
I don't have any updates as far as the
Darn
upgrade
it.
goes. I know it's a bit underwhelming right now, but yeah, I'll have some updates sooner rather than later.
There is an issue that was created by steering, which is on my desk because potentially I'm the only person currently who knows how to do this stuff. Things that you need to do when you create a working group, like mailing list creation and stuff like this. And I'm currently working on a pull request to update documentation on this and eliminating wrong truths that we have. Yeah, I hope to open the pull request either this week or next week. that will clean up a bunch of stuff. The only thing that I'm missing, and that's maybe also the important thing, Keslin, I need an how to create a vault for working groups or SIGs in 1Password.
Ooh, yeah.
Same. But we could figure it out.
Because I need to share credentials for Zoom, and this is then also interesting for Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because new Zoom admin, and I know that we I need to create one more Zoom account for one working group because they requested it, and share the credentials afterwards, obviously. However, we only have one license left, so potentially we also need to open up a ticket with CNCF for more licenses.
I would say more than potentially, because as soon as we get the round to it, etcd is going to want to move over to the Kubernetes account. They're currently on the CNCF account.
Yeah, then we need to open up a request for. I think we go in stacks, so it's usually like 5 or something like this. I don't know. But I used quite a lot of accounts lately for all of the working groups that got created.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
And I think we still have working groups in the pipeline.
Yeah. Is there any way to recycle some of these? Because we've
that's like, is anyone not using them?
We can go over them, but as far as I only had a quick glance at the list, and it looks pretty solid from usage point of view, but I can double check.
I think, yeah, regardless, we should probably double check that and then ask for stuff from CNCF. Yeah. A ticket, whatever we got to do.
Yep. Lots of things to be done there, both on 1Password and on Zoom. We said ages ago among the ContribEx leads that we need to make like a Zoom guide for ContribEx leads work on Zoom, and we never did. So
I have now done a couple of things.
I also have a notes doc somewhere that could be useful for this.
Wait. Why is LWKD its own item here? It'd be under comms.
Yeah, that's weird.
And actually,
like
honestly,
that?
it doesn't need to be a standing item. We only rarely have anything that makes any sense for this meeting. I don't know how that got in there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
It seems to be in the template that way.
Yeah.
I don't know who added that, but okay.
I've now moved it from the template, but
yeah. So no news on LWKD, except we're working with docs on automating some stuff. But the yeah.
Thank you. No news. Moving on to GitHub management. All of our GitHub management people. I love how GitHub management has 6 people as like the leads who could give updates on this. None of them attend this meeting. But does anyone have
time zones are a pain?
Yes. Mario, what were you saying?
But there's a new person, right? I saw a request for a new GitHub admin.
Yes, there was a request for a new GitHub admin. I don't know that person. I don't. Oh no, I do.
Was it Jason?
Yeah, it was Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Berganza, yeah. So, also not on this meeting, and never on this meeting in my memory. Recent ones.
Yeah.
So we'll add a 7th. So there's a new admin request. We'll add that. Request to add new admin. I think there was a org membership audit that was in progress. I'm not sure what the status is on that.
It's done. It's org membership.
Done?
Yeah, it's done, and people got removed.
Okay. Org membership audit completed. All right.
And we nearly dropped beneath 1,000 members.
Wow.
I'm not sure if that's good or not, but I'm going to put an exclamation point on it. Josh is adding a standing to-do. Look for eligible contributors. Encourage them to go for org membership.
Yeah. Maybe I should create an issue around. I bet I already have an issue around this that's like 6 months old.
We did discuss that a little bit in the SIG chairs meeting of chairs being like, yeah, I should look through the people in my SIG and make sure that they're doing that. And a couple folks were like, I did that recently, and we got a couple new folks org membership.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, and from ContribEx, it would be more of a sort of systemic looking at people's stats and just sending them a message that say, hey, you know, you have 2 accepted PRs. Have you considered applying for org membership? Here's how to do it. As a matter of fact, if that goes well on one run, it would be a thing to automate.
Yep.
Because there's nothing in that actually requires a person to do it.
And all that free time we have.
Yes.
We'll make that automation. Cool. Anything else about GitHub management? All right, let's talk about elections because we've got an election in progress right now. Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
A little late in the year.
Please vote. This is going to be a really hard one to vote in. I guarantee you that anybody on this call will personally know at least 4 of the people running, if not all of them. So, like, I was going to actually vote right when it opened, and then I was like, oh, this is hard.
Rank your friends on your MySpace page.
Tempted as you might be to vote an 8-way tie, that doesn't actually help. Like, you're allowed to do that. The system will let you do that, but then it doesn't actually contribute to electing anyone. So please vote. Particularly, you know, if you happen to know most of the candidates, please vote, because we do get a certain number of voters who only say no one of the candidates, and that's who they vote for. And it doesn't necessarily result in thinking about who would make the best steering committee member right now, right? Which is what you should be thinking about. Some issues with comms publicity around the election. Up until this group of election officers, we had direct handoff on the person who was going to be the comms person for each election. This time we didn't, because of some people having to not be contributing to Kubernetes right now, and didn't realize how little we have written down there. So Arujwal has been struggling a little bit, and we'll try to get it in gear. But in the meantime, you know, it's a matter of ContribEx and the election sub-project sort of diving in to help out. Steering had a number of ideas about how to do additional publicity for the election, but they didn't actually create any issues or tell anybody to do these things. So I'm now bugging them about that. One suggestion that I thought was fairly good from steering was to add a banner on GitHub. But again, I need somebody from steering to actually say, do this, because otherwise the GitHub admins are not going to do it, and they shouldn't. Because we just need people to vote. Our turnout in the last election, I think, was 36%, I think, something like that. And it would be really nice for it to be higher.
I just filed an exception request because I can't vote.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah, and it's always worth looking at the stats, right? Because was there a stats problem there? Because that's the only way we find out if we actually dive into somebody individual and they were like, oh, hey, you know, DevStats is actually omitting these entire repos, which it shouldn't be.
Oh, that's a good point. But
I mean, the last time we found a stats problem, that was what was going on. Yeah, because it's hard to believe that you don't have enough PRs and or approval votes.
Trackable things that were tracked.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get approved, but I'm more concerned about, hey, have a bunch of people systematically been excluded because of some kind of data error?
Right. And I mean, the criteria for 50 contributions to a Kubernetes project over the past year. Yeah, no, I probably don't have that in DevStats.
I'm always shocked that I do.
Yeah, because of when you do admin stuff, for example, in YouTube or in all of the automation tools, it's not tracked because we don't have it in DevStats. It's not a Git tool. It's just that the same with non-code contributions. Probably also all of our YouTube admins don't fulfill the requirement.
Yeah. And keep in mind, one thing that the election officers and the election subproject has done continuously is add groups who have chronic non-GitHub contributions.
So YouTube admins.
And I realize that because I'm talking, I'm not taking notes. Although and we can add more groups, right? The one trick is that we only want to statutorily add groups if those groups have some sort of monitoring on people still being active, right? Like it's easy to add the SRC because that membership rotates, and if people aren't active, they rotate off. But like, for example, I wouldn't automatically add all of the Slack admins until we actually do some hygiene on who's listed as a Slack admin, because we have like 5 of us who are active and the rest are not. And that, by the way, is not an actual problem because all the people who are active also have GitHub contributions. But as an example, so but like YouTube admins would actually be a pretty good one, right? There's only like 3 of you, right? And there's no chance that any of you are not active. So so
4 of us total
that
now.
Would be, but 5. For the sake of the election officers, that means there needs to be a referenceable list somewhere that they can look at.
Right. Not sure the current list is accurate, to be honest. Well, groups.yaml might not even be accurate.
Excellent points. We should also talk about the comms things that we were going to talk about, though, around the election, because we were talking about creating some communications to help advertise what's going on with the election.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've already followed up. So Arujwal is the elections comms person, and needs to put stuff in some other places. And like I said, this is actually what was missing from anywhere written down, is all of the places that stuff needs to be published in. By the way, one of the things I've been running into not infrequently with some newer contributors I've been working with in comms and elsewhere is discovering that they are not in fact subscribed to Kubernetes Dev, and so they never think of posting anything there. So I think that goes back to stuff we need to do in the NCO and when working with newcomers, is to say, hey,
it's mentioned twice.
The main official communications thing. Yeah.
In the new contributor orientation.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so then following up when people actually start contributing this to say, hey, you can subscribe to Kubernetes Dev? And if we're going to publicize anything, right, Kubernetes Dev should be the first place we publicize it, unless it's very specialized. Yeah, and so I need to actually look through the election docs because I would swear that we actually had a list of what gets published at each stage of the election and where it gets published. But Arujwal said he couldn't find it. And I'm worried that it was one of those rotating Google Docs that has now disappeared because it belongs to somebody personally. So I need to see if I can find it, and if I can find it, make sure it's in GitHub.
By the way,
I'll help you look.
if anyone finds any rotating, floating Google Doc, please just ping or post it in ContribEx, and either we create a folder in the drive for the SIG, or we move everything related to ContribEx or stuff like this into the ContribEx folder, because then we can just give access based on mailing lists.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I see that there is a Kubernetes Steering Election 2025 comm schedule that looks like it was made by Christoph. It looks like it uses the usual template.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any orphan docs in my drive that say election.
No, I mean generally.
No, I know what you mean, right? Like I'm trying to go through and see if there's anything in here that's shared with me that's not in the right place.
And this is in the 2025 Steering Committee election folder.
Okay.
Arujwal might not be aware of it.
Maybe, yeah.
It said it was made by Christoph.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's our one continuing member.
Yeah, Christoph made it. Sriram made some edits to it. Arujwal touched it on September 2nd.
Okay.
I can toss that into Slack and be like, comm schedule. But you probably should, because I think you'll be in the election officer's channel and you should probably toss it in that one.
I'm specifically not in the election officer's channel.
Oh, good. That is how it should be.
Only election officers and alternates are in there. And that's a separation we maintain. Theoretically, that's important separation because it allows me to endorse people, except that I've decided not to endorse anybody because, oh my God.
Right.
Like, I would just end up endorsing pretty much all the candidates, which doesn't help. Well, maybe it helps. I might do that anyway.
I hope I've got the right Arujwal here on Slack. And that was pretty much it, I think, for our agenda for today. Anything else that folks want to talk about? Open mic discussion time. All right, I've pinged that link to Arujwal and asked if it needs any help, if that's the right Arujwal. Otherwise, I just sent it to some random person, and maybe they're going to hop in and do some amazing comms for the election. We'll find out. I think we've covered pretty much everything, so we can give folks 10 minutes back if nobody else has anything they want to go over. All right. Thank you all for joining today. You can find us on Slack if you need any help. Bye.